All right. Welcome to the Global Gaming Women Fair Game podcast. I can't believe we're here. This has been such a long time coming. I was just talking about this earlier. I feel like we've been preparing for this for 2 years. We've been talking about this idea for such a long time, and I am so excited to be here and introduce all of this lovely programming that we have come up with for everybody. I think probably somebody should pinch me, but not really, because I need to calm down a little bit, though, you know. My name is Lauren O'Brien. I'm one of your co-hosts for GGW's Fair Game, and I am currently sitting at a table with 3 of the most remarkable women I have ever met. And I feel so privileged to be on this journey with all of you. I can't keep saying it, but I'm just so excited. I'm really excited to introduce everybody, but before we get there, I really want to tell you about why we're here and what we're doing. You know, we're going to go into the history of our organization and what GGW actually is in a little bit, but it was 2 years ago, Kate and Kelly Hatch, our associate director, came to us and said, you know, we have this idea. We want to do a podcast because we're trying to reach a different audience that we have of our members that we have had for so long. And, we want to touch them on a frequent basis. We want to give them content of things that they want to know and they want to hear about. And what better way to do that than a podcast, right? This is the most trendy, hip way that I know how to do this. So here we are. Yeah, we're really cool. Now we have these mic covers and everything.
They're beautiful.
So we're going to cover so many topics on this podcast, from what is a slot machine, which just so happens to be my personal passion, but things from gender diversity and, what makes a CFO at a casino and, what is work-life balance, because I don't really know either what that is. And what is self-care and all of those things. This is a wide range of topics that we're going to cover throughout our season. We wanted to just bring all kinds of industry experience to this table, but also a really cool balance of life experience. I think we all come from different walks of life, and we all have different personal situations that are happening at home. But our one common theme is that we all want to empower women, right? And I think that we want a better industry for what we're, everyday work and everything, right? So I'm gonna introduce the team because I am just so excited. I need to get going here. So I'm going to start with my PIC, my partner in crime over here. This is Kate. So Kate, take it away. Introduce yourself. Tell everybody.
Okay. Hello. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kate White. I am currently working in IT at an operator. We're going to talk all about operator versus manufacturer and all the other things going on in gaming. So I bring a little bit of the nerd life to this group, and I'm super excited to be here. I think this is an amazing mission, and as Lauren said, we've been talking about this for so long. So way overdue. A lot of the feedback we get from our members at GGW is all about how can I connect with more people, and I might not be at the same level you are, or I might be coming in fresh, kind of how do we create an environment for people like that, and that's what this is all about. So super stoked to be here. And be here with all you amazing ladies. I will pinch you, but not right now. We'll do it
later.
Another time. I don't want you to get too excited right now.
That's awesome. All right. Anika Howard, tell everybody about yourself.
Well, hello, world. Anika Howard. I'm the president and CEO of Wondr Nation. It's owned by the Mashantucket Pequot Tribal Nation. And so I think, represent the non-traditional path through gaming. And I think it's really important for us to be able to highlight women and all of their experiences and all of their journeys. And really, I'm just excited to share this podcast and this time with these amazing women, and really wanting to hear from everyone out there, as we go forward, what do you want to hear? I mean, we have spent so much time, as Lauren mentioned, talking about and thinking about this day. And now that it's here, I'm just really happy, and really I'm proud to be part of this group.
I love that. It's where can this journey take us?
Yeah, absolutely.
What does everybody else out there want to hear? Because we've been thinking about it for so long. What if we missed something really cool? And we need to bring it in.
It's the beginning. This is great. When you're at the start of everything, and anything's possible.
Best feeling.
All right, Bronwen, you're up.
All right. Well, already so inspired just being at this table with you all. And gosh, one of my favorite things in the world is bringing visions to life. And I just cannot believe it's finally today. And here we are bringing it to life. So I'm Bronwen. I am so thrilled to be here. I am, for my main job, I am Director of Strategic Growth at Insight Global, Director of Strategic Growth and Development. I oversee our client events and partnership strategy, and previously led our casino gaming portfolio with a heavy emphasis on sports betting and the emergence of legalized sports betting. But Insight Global as a whole, we're a recruiting and talent services firm. I also serve on the board of the startup Her Competitive Advantage, HCA, which we're going to be launching very soon. Probably will have launched by the time this comes out. But we are the first and only recruiting platform connecting both current and former collegiate female athletes to corporate America.
Very cool.
So,
awesome.
yes, very excited to be here on the pod with y'all.
That's awesome. Well, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Lauren O'Brien. Once again, I am the Director of Global Games at Aristocrat. That's my day job. My volunteer fun job is I'm a board member of GGW, and I'm so proud to say that because this organization does so much for women, and obviously it's brought us all here together today. For fun, I am a mom to a 10-year-old, so she keeps me busy, and we're heavy in dance competition time, so that's going to be probably popular.
She's a dance mom.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Yes,
call
you
it out.
are.
Dance mom.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a common theme here for me, dance mom over here. But I'm like I said, I'm so excited. I want to talk a little bit about GGW, what we are, our history, and how we got here today. You know, we just recently went through a rebrand. We're bringing a fresh look to this organization, and this is part of that. But Kate, can you tell us a little bit about GGW and the history and what our new look looks like?
I would love to. So GGW, aka Global Gaming Women. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, we're super excited that you're here. So this organization is rooted. It started back with AGA coming out with a lot of really amazing trailblazer women who are coming together to say, hey, we need to do something about getting more women into the pipe, right? How can we do that? So they started out as generally a foundation for education. That's really where Global Gaming Women, its roots were all about how can we educate women, not just about gaming, but also about each other, about themselves. So we, at the time, the ladies got together, came up with some programming. It was amazing. And then over the last 5-6 years, we've been really procuring a bunch of additional content. How can we help ladies not just with education? Now, can we do networking? Can we do mentorship? Can we do different things? So it's a lot of going on with GGW, and we've been focusing a lot. And in the last couple of years about lean-in circles is another great example. Working with outside agencies to figure out how they can help us supplement kind of what our programming means to our members, and growing internationally has also been a big one for us in the last year. So there's a lot going on with GGW. I definitely recommend spending some time on the website and kind of looking at everything. It's a lot to take in, so I'm not going to spend an hour talking about it, which I could, but there's something for everyone, and I think that's really the goal is how can we get every woman involved in this industry to help push up all the other women and really focus on ourselves at the same time, which is a great.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, so I talked a little bit about the rebrand and what we just went through, but tell us our mission statement so that we set the stage for the rest of this season.
Okay, impactful moment. Here we go. Da-da-da-da-da. Yes.
I have it.
In an industry where women have been underrepresented, Global Gaming Women is leveling the playing field. Our vision is a future of inclusiveness and diversity that benefits every individual in the industry. We are executives and up and becoming game changers, collaborators, and diverse individuals. No matter who you are, we join together and uplift one another through knowledge and connections. I have goosebumps. That will empower us all to succeed because we all deserve a fair game. Whoa.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Love it. Chills.
I
No
love
joke.
it.
Look, on camera. You can see it.
No, I feel it. I
Yeah.
feel it. So perfect segue into what we're going to talk a little bit about next, mission statements, right? I like to put a little spin on this, and I want to make personal passion statements, right? What drives you? What brings you passion every day? So I'm going to read mine to the group here so that I can put that out on the table. I will be vulnerable. I will put myself out there first. My passion lies in empowering women to realize their full potential, fostering a world where every woman is valued, respected, and given equal opportunities to thrive in all aspects of life. My why in life is my perfectly adorable and sassy 10-year-old Brooklyn. I wake up every day knowing that she is watching and learning from me. And if I'm my best self, she will be too.
It's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
So, Kate,
Okay.
hit us with your passion statement.
My passion statement is it's really all about a quote from Audrey Hepburn about using both hands, right? So I want to be able to give as much as I can to myself and have that, but then also use my other hand to what can I do for others? And that's a lot of why I'm here and why we've been doing what we're doing. I have a huge passion for if I can talk.
Philanthropy?
That one.
That word? Is that
Thank
it?
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a tough out there.
Yeah, philanthropy. Why do they make those words so hard? And doing good in the community, not just for this organization, but many organizations. I have a 12, now to be 13-year-old nonverbal autistic son, so a lot going on in that space. We'll hear lots more about because I'm all about spreading the awareness. But that's really what it's about for me. And my statement is there is a certain part that you have to balance for yourself and make sure that you're doing the best you can, but at the same time, really doing as much as you can for others too. And it's a balance for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. You have to
Yes.
take care of yourself before you can take care of others, right?
Amen.
Yeah.
Love it.
Anika, you want to tell us about your passion statement?
No, absolutely. I always kind of say that I'm perfectly and wonderfully imperfect. And so my passion statement is really to amplify diverse voices and really kind of each one, reach one, teach one. I want to make sure that as I elevate, I'm always having a hand back to reach out and be a mentor or resource, a sounding board for someone else, because I know that early in my career, I didn't have that, and it was a lonely place. And I want to make sure that I'm that for someone else. For me, my why is very similar. I'm the oldest of 8, so I have a really big sense of obligation to be an example for my brothers and sisters, but now my 20-plus nieces and nephews, I really want to make sure that as I kind of build and as we build, it's a better place and better world for them.
Love that. Also powerful. Okay, well, I love, honestly, the common theme that we all have, because my passion statement is very, very focused on being inspired by empowering others. And so just another reason that I love doing this with you all, right? Uplifting people is, biggest purpose. And really how it all started, my upbringing was unique. I experienced a lot of adversity in my childhood. I'm biracial, daughter of an LGBTQ plus family. We grew up with a lot of financial insecurity. Unfortunately, there were disabilities in the family, health challenges, right? There's just a lot that went on. So the inequities that were faced, that our family faced, it's right, advocating for equity is just my biggest passion. And especially gender equity, right? Because that's where I've had my most personal experiences. And shout out to my therapist. She actually,
Probably not very true, like very real moment, right?
I know, seriously. She recently called something out, which I hadn't necessarily realized about myself, but it's actually now that I know it, it's become one of my favorite qualities. But it's this ability, or I guess drive is maybe a better way to say it, that right, like when there's a sadness, a frustration, an inequity that I see, it's unacceptable, right? Like you have to lean in to impacting change. You have to drive actionable change and channel that sadness, that frustration.
It's empathy.
Yes, exactly. It's just simply unacceptable, and I won't accept it. So when I see something that I don't like, it needs to change. So
and I think that's really important, because I think when you go through adversity, because I kind of am similar, it stills you and you understand how that feels, and you want to make sure that no one ever feels that way. Right?
Exactly.
Well,
Yes.
I think I told you this early on, like your superpower is bringing out the best in people. And I think that through this season, you'll see and understand why we say that about Bronwen. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
yay. That was so
absolutely.
nice. I appreciate that.
Well, so I think now's a good time for like a call to action, right? Because anybody listening out there, I think it's important for us to connect with you as members and listeners. So go to our socials. Tell us about your passion statement. We want to hear what you have to
Yes.
say. So just use that. What is it? You have to hashtag. So I'm going to try to be cool. Hashtag fair game on our socials, and tell us about your passion statement. And we want to feel them and we want to understand them so that we can really get to know each of the members and listeners out there. And I think that's just a great way for us to kick this off, right?
Yeah, I mean, listening to each other's has been really impactful. Imagine hearing from a much wider
Yes.
audience of a bunch of other women, and how much that lifts all of the other women in our social networks up. So I'm with you.
Yes.
Be cool. Hashtag.
Check. Fair. All right. So now we're feeling warm and fuzzy, right?
Yeah,
We have this
yeah.
excitement, we have this passion for life, and we've laid it out. We were vulnerable, we put it out in the world. I'm going to talk a little bit about what our season looks like, why we're here, what we're doing. We covered all that. Now I'm going to talk to you about how we're going to bring that information to you and how we're going to be involved throughout what is a gaming season, right? So for those of you on the vendor, the manufacturing side, you are probably pretty familiar with trade shows, right? So we're going to kick off this season at IGA, right? So that's a big trade show. It's a really important time for our industry. So it's a tribal trade show. It's happening right in the middle of the year. Like, it's a really important time. So it's a great way for us to kick off this trade show.
Yes.
And our season is going to go through G2E,
G2E,
right? Yeah,
Obviously.
it's a given. I think it's just really important. So we're gonna do some cool special things around G2E. That's a really big event. So you'll see us do some pop-ups and some really fun things at that time. But
Cannot wait.
it's a great way to frame a year, right?
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know what those are, don't know trade shows, like, there are so many other aspects of gaming out there, and we know that. We're gonna explore all of those. So by the end of this, you're going to know what G2E is, and you're probably going to want to come hang out with us at it. But we're also going to talk about what all those other people do at gaming too, right?
Yes, we are. We're going to do a lot. We're going to kick off an awesome kind of branch here called Casino 101. We're going to walk through kind of what is an operator, right? So my partner in crime from the manufacturing side will give us a lot of that insight, and then myself, we're going to bring some awesomeness, because the first thing I hear from people is, hey, I'm new to the industry, but I don't understand the full breadth of what is happening, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have people, it's not just about, oh, I make slot machines or I do this. What about hotel? What about food and beverage? What about all our finance people and our fund compliance and legal people? I mean, it's all over the place. So let's teach people what the real operation looks like, because it's huge. And if you want to expand your career, which I'm sure most of us do, or if you wouldn't probably be hanging out with us on this podcast, what can we do? What can we help you educate about? And that's a passion of mine. So I'm super excited to be able to bring that through this season.
Yeah, I don't want to age myself, but I've been in this industry like 20 plus years, so that's about all I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But there's so much I don't know. And
Yeah.
I think that's the fun part of this, is that we have the platform and the opportunity to bring that information to so many people out there, and they're going to learn so much about this industry that's only going to enhance their journey through their career.
That's a plan.
Yeah. All right. So we have a second call to action, right? We have all of this amazing content. We have this list of topics, but we wouldn't be here without members and listeners. So we would love it if you could go to our social and tell us what you want to hear. I think Anika said it earlier, right?
Yeah.
Like, we want to know. We've planned, we've prepared, but we really want to know what everybody else wants to hear about, right?
Yeah, and stories that you all want to hear, because we're big on this. Stories are permission slips. It's my favorite phrase, because it's so true, right? And I don't think maybe people lean into the power of that as much, or recognize the power in sharing and vulnerability and how that can impact the world, right? I actually heard this on a podcast several years ago, but Oprah Super Soul, she was interviewing Liz Gilbert, so she's the author of Eat, Pray, Love. Yeah, so good. One of my favorites, and definitely read it if you have not checked it out before, or watch the movie. But anyway, so Liz Gilbert was talking about how the concept of Eat, Pray, Love ended up actually being a permission slip for so many women to just live life on their own terms, right? To kind of get out of the male-dominated aspect of the hero's journey, right? Like, women can be the hero too. And so I've always taken that into all their aspects of life, right? Like, whenever you hear a story about someone that could be the catalyst for, a decision that, you wanted to make, or maybe didn't have the confidence, and you hear somebody else doing it, and you're like, wow, okay, I can do that myself as well.
It gives that extra push, right?
Yes, exactly. Kind of on that, I'd love to share kind of how I got to GGW and how it's changed my life, in that vein, if you guys are open
Yeah,
to a
love to
quick
hear.
story. When I moved to Vegas, my company actually asked me mid-pandemic. I was in Virginia at the time. So they asked me to move out here, and I was supporting the government services division in Insight Global back in Virginia. So when I came out to Las Vegas, I thought that's what I was still going to do. But I also, was moving in the middle of a global pandemic, and I did not know anyone in Vegas. So I wanted to get myself out there, make friends as quickly as possible, lean into the community. So I kept asking around. I was like, where are the women in tech, women in business, women in whatever, right? Like organizations.
Where are my people?
Yeah.
Where are my future friends at? And by like the 6th or 7th recommendation about global gaming women, I was like, okay, I've never touched a slot machine. I am here for government. I was like so set on it. I was like, okay, I will check out one of the virtual lean-in breakfasts. So I did. It was such a beautiful experience, the warmest, welcoming environment. Everyone's dropping their LinkedIn handles in the chat. And I followed up with, I followed up with a lot of people, but not everyone responded. But who did respond, one of them, still my biggest mentor to this day, Sue Schneider. I'm sure.
Oh, we love Sue.
Yes. I'm sure most people listening know her, love her, and I'm sure she's changed, y'all's lives as well. But it was such a beautiful thing that happened, right? So we have our virtual chat after that first GGW event, and she was like, oh, funny, we've actually been looking for a recruiting firm to run the career fair at our first consumer sports betting event. She works for SBC. They're a conference organizer and media production company. So I was like, oh, we'll do it, no problem. And I'm like, all of a sudden go from thinking that, I'm gonna be supporting government, never touch a slot machine, to being thrown into this. That's how, I established my entire client base. And it was because of Sue affirming my potential. She asked me to be on a thought leadership panel as well. I'd never done it before. I have a tough name. They spelled my name wrong in the instructions. I didn't know what I was doing. The week before, I was like, Sue, I don't know if I should do this anymore. There were like CEOs on this panel. I don't know what I'm doing. And she was like, you're fine. You got this. She affirmed my potential, and it changed my life. And now I'm here. And for Sue, I probably took less than a few seconds out of her day to lift me up the way that she did. But I mean, it was the catalyst for everything. So thank you, Sue. We love you.
Yeah, you found your person.
Yeah.
You found your person. I love that.
There's a saying, Maya Angelou, it's like people will not remember what you say, but they'll remember how you make them feel. And so I think that's very, very telling that, just that brief moment of, once again, each one, reach one, teach one, taking the time.
Yeah.
How'd
How'd you get here?
So it's interesting. So kind of similar. So Virginia McDowell, Eileen Moore, who was one of the first people that I ever met when I moved here to Las Vegas. They had started kind of part of that core team of when it was still affiliated with AGA. Had reached out to me and talked to me about it, and I immediately was like, yes, sign me up. And from then, it's just the rest is history. But the same thing, Virginia. Sue, everyone just definitely leaning into me, giving me opportunity and speaking life into me in ways that I didn't have in my professional career life. It was fine. I was successful, but it's a different thing to be welcomed and seen, and then kind of supported. And I think that's what Global Gaming Woman has been for me.
Oh,
Love it.
Ooh, so well
That's
said.
incredible. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Kate, how'd you get here?
Yeah, so my story is a little bit different, which is always fun because
Yeah.
different perspectives,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So as I mentioned, so I'm in IT, which is a very different space. I've never had a lot of female mentors or role models.
Same.
Yeah. So when I found out about GGW, I said, okay, yeah. I didn't have anybody actually introduce me. I saw it and I said, well, I'm gonna go get some of that, right?
Yeah.
Because I need a little bit of that. And also I was newer to the industry, and I said I need to learn kind of what's going on here. So the first entry point I had was actually I signed up to be a lean-in moderator. And let me tell you, whoa, okay.
You took a giant leap.
I was like
right from the
straight into
jump.
the pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Straight no chaser.
Yeah, exactly.
I could see you being a great moderator.
It was wonderful. I think the first thing I learned was that there was a lot of other women just like me, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of us may not have had a helping hand up, but we were all ready to jump. So I jumped in hard, and then it's been wonderful. I found an amazing group of women, and we frequently will say our personal board of directors, which is not an understatement for most of us. So it's been a journey, but it's been amazing.
It's one of my favorite things to say about it, right? My personal board of directors. I love
Yes,
that.
makes
I love that.
sense.
So very similar story to you. I have been in this industry for a long time before I found GGW, and my family is in this industry, and we have a long history. I have aunts that are cocktail servers, and I have people that are working the slot side, and people that work on the casino floor, and so this industry was kind of in my blood. And I grew up in Atlantic City, gaming city. So I was in this for a long time. I kind of knew this was my path. And I think that if, I saw it coming, but I didn't see a group like me, right? Mm-hmm. I had a lot of male allies that helped lift me up, but I didn't have a lot of women around me. And so I found GGW and I said, all right, I'm going to take this leap. And I joined a Lean in Circle. So I didn't jump right to the moderator thing like you did. You took the ultimate leap. But I went for the Lean in Circle, and I said, I'm going to give this a shot. And I found a group of women just like me, like you said, and that the rest is history. And here we are.
And I think that makes a lot. Kate, I really resonated with what you said because I am also like between iGaming and sports betting and tech and interactive, primarily male-dominated industry. I remember going through weeks of like travel and meetings and figuring out like what's going on here, and then realizing the thing was I was the only woman or person of color like in all of the meetings for a long stretch. And so I like when I found GGW and I started kind of building that network of women, it uplifted me in a much different way. And like I said, lots of male allies, great male coworkers, but it's just a different dynamic.
Yes. Yeah, I think those are incredible journeys to get us all here, right? And GGW has all brought us to this table, and it's incredible to watch us all, and I can't wait to see what like our future journey looks like. And speaking of that, I want to talk a little bit more about what each of us are going to bring to this table throughout this season and maybe future seasons after that. I know we talked a little bit about Casino 101 and what Kate's going to bring to the table, but Anika, talk to us about your empowerment series.
No, absolutely. I'm going to kind of just follow up on what Bronwen said around stories being permission slips. And I really do see this series as an opportunity for connecting with women who have different stories to tell, that have had non-traditional paths, that have now reached a state of empowerment where they can help others. And so the series is really going to talk about people that have mentored, and kind of those experiences, talking about women that have broken barriers, and really just kind of getting into the why and the things that really motivate them and what empowerment means. And so I'm really excited to have these conversations with these women. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited too.
Yes.
Bronwen, talk to us about the Spotlight series. What is that going to be like?
Yes. So similar to what Anika said, going back to stories or permission slips. And so we want to hear the stories of people's journeys, right? We want to shine light on the things that have really inspired them to take the career paths that they have, and then also what those career paths have been, right? We want to hear about the unique challenges that they've faced, how they have overcome adversity, how they have been able to really just celebrate, that journey. So we want to spotlight specifically those career journeys. So we're very, very excited to bring some more stories as permission slips.
And I'm not going to lie, journeys in the gaming industry probably have to be one of the most interesting stories I've ever heard. Yeah. There's so much going on that people don't think about. And it's going to be amazing to hear new voices, which, there's so many great trailblazers that we've all heard from and on some of our other content and stuff, but we're super excited to bring brand new life, brand new people that haven't probably been in front of the mic before to tell their story. So a fresh perspective.
Fresh twist.
Love it.
No, I'm really excited about that in terms of just uncovering these new women to bring to the forefront. So
yes, that too. Great. Yeah.
All right. So I'm not usually this serious all the time. So I think before we sign off, we need to have a little bit of fun. So we're going to rapid fire questions. I'm going to throw some stuff at you. I just want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind, because this should just make things interesting,
rules,
right?
So all at once or one at a time?
No. Just throw it out there.
Okay.
Just throw it out there. Throw it out there as you feel it, right?
Be prepared for judgment. I'm just saying.
Okay,
yes.
That's all good. That's
Here
all
we go. Yeah, we talked about this. Okay. All right. You ready? Here we go. Texting or talking?
Texting.
Definitely talking.
Text.
Yeah. Don't call me. So just letting you know.
I love a good phone
Depends
chat.
on who, but
Actually,
most
yeah,
of the time.
depends on who. I'm talking about my people,
Yeah, your
right?
people,
like,
yeah.
my
I need to
voicemail is
kick you
literally
with,
like,
yeah.
please text me if you want to reach
Yeah,
me. So if it's a
exactly.
random person,
Love that. All
then
right.
text.
How long does it take you to get ready?
8
30
minutes.
12,
I thought
which is a
30
lie.
was
Probably
short.
longer.
Does that include a shower? I'll go
No,
30.
not a hair
I'll go
wash
30
day.
if it
Not a
includes
hair
Not a
wash.
hair wash day, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Hair,
30.
different
Hair wash days are completely
Hair wash
separate.
days we're not going to talk about.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite junk food?
Oh, I'm addicted to Welch's fruit snacks right now. I'm trying to quit. I don't think they're good for you.
There's these, there are these butter toffee cashews that I got at Costco that
Oh,
are
I've
the
had
devil.
those.
They're the devil.
Had those. Love them.
Yeah.
I'm a Tate's cookies.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
And I'm an extra crunchy Cheetos girl.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
I want it
Solid
all
choice.
over my mouth at the end of the day. Yeah.
No puffs.
Okay. Say a word in Spanish.
Baño.
Te amo.
Hola.
I think means.
That's my word.
Wait, what was it?
Hola. Okay. All right.
Have
Have you ever worn socks with sandals?
No.
No.
If I did, I'm not going to say it on this podcast.
We already said we were going to judge you.
Yeah, you're the one who said it.
Okay, don't judge me, but on Sunday mornings, there is a chance that I might do that at the grocery store, but nobody's there, so it's
Wow.
fine. Yeah.
Are we talking
a
like
lot of
flip
people do
flops?
this. Yeah.
I think like
Ooh.
flip-flops are
Okay,
nice.
all right.
I
Yeah.
was thinking like the slip-ins. I have done this to take the trash out. So,
Thank you.
so
Okay,
I
that's
can't judge you
acceptable.
completely.
No, but have you done it on the beach?
Yeah, in public.
Yeah, you can't do it in public. Okay. All right.
All
Is
right.
double dipping at a party acceptable?
No.
No. Is it family? If it's family, I don't
Okay,
have a choice.
yeah, I guess. If it's a family party.
Kate thinks it's acceptable.
I'm just like, if you're with friends, it's
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
right?
Yeah,
like,
that's what I said,
I mean,
it's
there's a
okay.
certain limit, but there's certain people that are acceptable. Others, you're like,
I'm like, I don't know.
Do you want to
Just
be
don't know,
warned
dude.
about the double
I'm
dipping?
steering clear if there's certain people standing next to the vegetable tray. Let's just say that.
it's
Like,
like that. If they're
I might be on
molesting
the-
the vegetables
I'm
and
good.
kind of like, no,
Not at a networking party. No, don't do that.
not
Okay.
a work party.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
Hi.
yeah, girl.
Cake, girl.
Cake.
I don't
Okay.
like chocolate though.
How many hours of sleep do you get on average?
3.
Are you
hours of sleep.
You
Yeah.
are.
Okay.
I'm not okay. I need an intervention, clearly. Yeah.
We're gonna have a nap party.
Yeah.
A nap time.
I'm like an 8 to 9 girl, or I'm cranky. So
Yeah, I do know that
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
Agreed. I'm like 7 to 9.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
see,
I'm
I
like
need- I
between
need-
6 and 8. Like,
Yeah, I need-
Okay, but how
normal.
many do you actually need?
I say 6. 6 is like my minimum. I think
7.
you're. I don't know how you're sitting.
I don't know
there.
how you're
I
functioning.
don't know. I mean, just literally, I got in at midnight last night, and I was up because I had calls at 5
Oh yeah.
a.m. because
Gotta do what you gotta do.
we're
Yeah.
kind of Eastern.
Your time zone.
So I know I'm highly functional, but then
I'm
I
impressed.
crash on the weekends.
Okay, but I'm really
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah.
You have to teach
Weekend
me
crash.
your ways because
Yeah.
I'm
No,
like
they're
Kate,
bad
really
ways.
grumpy
Like,
later.
I definitely need an intervention when it comes to sleep. I love sleep. I just don't get any.
We will.
Okay,
We'll
we
do
have
it.
we have 2 more really good ones. Name one of the 7 dwarfs.
Sleepy.
Sleepy.
Is that
deal.
grumpy?
Horcrux, same thing.
Happy? Is happy?
Oh, yeah, happy
Yeah,
is
okay.
too.
I'm pretty
steal your
happy right now.
answer.
Yeah, there we
Okay.
go.
Last one. Are you a good driver?
I am.
Don't ask my husband because he would say no, but I think I'm okay.
I haven't killed anyone.
Yeah, right?
My nieces will say I'm a crazy driver. I don't think I'm a crazy driver.
I think my daughter would say that I should probably slow down.
Yeah.
Should other people around us be judging us? Because I feel like I'm in control and safe and
I
like
just got places to go,
yeah,
people to see.
Yeah.
So
I
I think
love driving.
I think we're all good drivers.
Yes.
How about that?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I'm claiming that.
I love this so much. I think that this just shows a little bit more of our fun personalities, and,
Yeah.
and we're definitely going to do some more of this in the future, and maybe even with our guests. I think this
Yeah.
is just a fun,
That'd be fun.
light way to do this. All right, so it's time to sign off. But before we do, talk to us a little bit about our next episode, episode 2, Casino 101 kickoff.
Yes. So we are going to talk about this most amazing thing called casino operations, which is kind of the basis and the revenue for everything that happens in gaming as an operation. So we're going to do a little vibe on learning about slots, tables, and not just about how to play, because there's a whole other thing on that. That's not what we're about, right? We're talking about what is the cog in the machine that actually makes this stuff work. So we're going to talk about things like floor optimizations and like the cool art of casino operations. And then we're going to have a awesome, badass spotlight in this episode, Bronwen.
Yes, I
Cannot
cannot
wait.
wait to spotlight. I'll keep it a secret right now. I don't want to spill the beans, but yeah, we'll have a great spotlight.
Okay, amazing. All right, well, before we head off, just don't forget to follow us on all of our social channels. Talk to us about your passion statements. Remember, be hip and cool and use a
Yes.
hashtag and tell us what your passion statement is so we can maybe spotlight those on future episodes.
Yes.
Hashtag fair game.
We should.
Hashtag fair game.
Yeah. And yeah, those passion statements, right? They could be somebody else's permission slip. So be vulnerable.
Absolutely. All right,
Absolutely.
with that, we'll sign off for episode 1.
Mic drop, episode
Yes.
1.
Love y'all already.